learned these concepts, so it's already clear what the Mishnah is going to say. Kate said, what's the case? Those sacrifices that are the holiest sacrifices. So there's Meilah to the leg. There's Meilah on the limbs before the Zrika. Ube Basar. Lacher Zrika Stamim. But after the Zrika, then Meilim Bei Mereyam, only on the limbs that are going to go on the altar does the Meilah remain. But Bein Meilim Bebasar, but the part of the sacrifice is going to be eaten by the Koyanim, that's already belongs to the Koyanim. It's not Kachi Hashem, there's no more Meilah. Someone has personal benefits from it. Valzeh, both the limbs that go on the altar and what's eaten by the Koyanim, it's a Gezunt, it's Chayiv Mishum Pigel Neiser V'Tamik. It's Chayiv now for Pigel Neiser and Tamik for those halachas, because those halachas require a valid karban, and here the Zrika was done already. Nimtza, what comes out is Maisadam Bekachi Kachim, Lahakla Lahachmer. We find a leniency and a stringency. The Meilah goes off from the meat, but it becomes Pigel Neiser and Tameh after the Zrika. If it's Pigel Neiser and Tameh. Okay, Bekachim Kalim, it's Kul Lahachmer. By those sacrifices of lesser holiness, like the Shlamim or Bchar, so those are, it's going to be different. Those, it's only stringency. The Zrika only adds chumras. Kate said, Kachim kalaf ne Zrika stam ein mayel and leibe merim leibe basar. Before the Zrika, there's no Meilah there. If you have personal benefit from it, there's no violation of Meilah. La'achar Zrika stam, but after the Zrika, mayel be merim vein mayel bebasar. After the Zrika, all of a sudden there becomes a prohibition of Meilah, a violation of Meilah on the limbs that are going to be put on the altar, because now it's eligible to be brought up to the altar, becomes Kachi Hashem, sanctified to God. Al-Zeh, but both on the limbs and on the basar, Chayav Nalisham Pigel Neiser V'Tamik. Yechayev for Pigel, leftover meat, if it's left over the time, and if it becomes Tameh and it's eaten, or the person's Tameh. Nim to Maisa Damim Bekachim Kalim Kol Nahachmer, which means that the Zrika is a Chumrah on everything. Should I finish? Yeah? Ktani was taught in the Mishnah. Ein mayalim bebasar. There's no Meilah. Now there's a little bit of a problem here. The term that we used was ein mayalim bebasar. Now in context, that was all we were talking about, was Meilah. But the Gemara is concerned when it reads the Mishnah that after the Zrika, then you're allowed to eat the flesh, and the Meilah goes off from the flesh. So why is the term ein mayalim bebasar? It sounds like there's no serious prohibition, but you have other issues. Says 1 second. Meilahu deleka yisurika. There's no Meilah, but you have a prohibition. He's supposed to eat it. It's not that there's no Meilah there. That's what you're supposed to do. So Gemara says like kasha. That's not a problem. Because the beginning in context we were talking about Meilah. That before you do the Zrika there's Meilah. So we say Nasiv Seifa ein Meilah. So when you say after the Zrika there's no Meilah. But really, of course, you're going to eat it as well. Let's say the second half. B'kachi kalam kul lahachmer. Ketzad basa kachi kalam if nezir kastam ein mayelin bahem ubei moreya vein chayavan limshum pigol neiser v'tamei lachas zrikastam mayelin bei bereya vein mayelin bebasar. After the Zrika, there's no Meilah in the flesh. 1 second. Meilah hu deleka yisurika. There's no Meilah in the flesh afterwards. After the Zrika. 1 second. V'amai hamamayna debailamu. The owners are supposed to eat it. Gemara says, Amar b'chananya liyaitzen. We're going to adjust the Mishnah just to figure this out. We're going to say that we're talking about it here, the karban that's puzzle. And when we say there's no Meilah, what we mean is that there's no Meilah, but there is a prohibition because the karban was puzzle. We're going to add in a detail here that we didn't have to read into the Mishnah. The Mishnah didn't discuss. But Rabbi Akiva, it's Rabbi Akiva, in that we're talking about that the flesh has left the temple and come back in, and you did the Zrika, and we say there's no Meilah, because Rabbi Akiva holds that the Meilah works, but you still have a prohibition to eat it because it left the temple. Kim Rabbi Akiva Zrika me'elas liyotzei and l'sreifa, that it gets burnt. Avalachilahu d'lei meratza, but it doesn't. The Zrika doesn't help that you should be allowed to eat the flesh. The Zrika on an animal, on the flesh that has left and come back, helps that the Meilah goes off if it's kachei kachim, and the Meilah goes on if it's kachei kalim, but it doesn't mean you're allowed to eat the flesh. Kachim, you know that.
I had somebody to understand. With the question of